Michael scored a lot of points in that second half, but couldn't get the job done. Did you feel like you were going to get that done at the end?
Well, mate, you never know. You can't know. Can you? You can't know. So you don't. We certainly created a lot of momentum, which continually got punctuated for one reason or another. But you can't know. You can't know it's going to happen. You know. You obviously believe in your players that they'll get it done. I thought they had a mighty effort. A mighty effort across the 80 minutes, but not to be.
Thank you. Second question there, please.
Michael Cheika, the first half to the second half turnaround, how do you explain that? You took Bernard off quite early.
Yeah, I don't think we got a bit more go forward in the second half. We created more go forward, like we got to what we wanted to do. First half was punctuated with we made a few breaks, and then we sort of maybe lost the ball instead of just keeping it, and we gave them opportunities. We also got, we had set-piece dominance. Probably that was rewarded a bit more in the second half, or sort of in the second half than in the first half. So there's a lot of little factors, you know. There wasn't one huge, why didn't it happen in the first half, why did it happen in the second half type thing. Although we just built across the game and we played a lot of the football, so, yeah.
Thank you. The front, please.
Michael Hooper, could you just,
Sorry. Got the worst jacket possible. Sorry about that.
No problem. Could you just give your perspective on the incident involving Reece Patchell in the first half? It was obviously a bit of a strange one, and it led to a penalty and then a try, and the conversation you had with the referee over that.
Karevi
with
incident? I can't remember word for word my discussion with him. I don't know how to carry into a player. As a player, I'm trying to make a dominant carry, and he's used poor tackle tech and fallen back. I don't know. I just don't know what Samu could have done there. So I was just asking in future, because the decision was made. That's all right. What could we do to make that not happen again? And that was the discussion that me and Roman were having.
Thank you. Follow up. Get the microphone again, please. Thank you.
I'll just follow that then and say, was there what feedback did you get, and what did you learn to maybe take into the future?
No, it was just he kept referring back to the incident itself, which is fine. Moved on.
Thank you. At the front again, please. Thank you.
A question for Michael Cheika, please. We've had some narrow margins in this fixture in the last 10 years. I was wondering what you thought was different about this Welsh display, even having them won last year. And do you think they could go all the way? Some people are already describing them as World Cup contenders.
I don't think that's for me to talk about, really, is it? We played our game against them. We're on to the next thing. They won. We're on to the next game. It's not my place to talk about who's going to win and who's not.
Thank you. There, please.
Michael Cheika, what's your take on Roman and Michael and Samu's talk about the tackle technique? The carry technique, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was pretty funny because I thought I'd seen that tackle before. It could have been Reece Hodge. I'm not sure. But when our guy makes that tackle and has the high tackle framework in his head, he gets suspended. And when this guy doesn't think about the high tackle framework, we get penalised. So you've seen it anyway. You don't need me to, like, as a rugby player, as a former player, I'm embarrassed about that. As a rugby player, I'm embarrassed about that.
Thank you. Follow up, please.
You're dominating the microphone, Georgina.
Just on that conversation though, were you guys aware of that you can't fend, but and you shouldn't lead with your elbow and your forearm? Samu's done it a little. He did it in Perth.
Oh, look, that wouldn't have come. I don't know every directive. Like, there's a fair few of them that come out, but I don't know if. I think he may have said he lifted his arm into the chest. I don't know if that's illegal or not. To be honest, like, I don't know. I don't know anymore. I don't know the rules anymore. Honestly, don't know the rules anymore.
Thank you. At the front, please.
Michael Hooper, could you just explain how difficult it is to maintain momentum when you've got such long breaks for TMO decisions?
We just have conversations within our own team. Like, what can you do? If it's going to be a factor in the game, we've got to deal with it like Wales dealt with it as well. Like, every team's going to have this thing coming up. We probably would have liked the ball to be play a bit more, because I think back end of that first half, we started getting some roll, and then evidently in the second half we dominated that. So TMO didn't help us there.
Thank you. The back, please.
For both Michaels, it's Juliano Passini from Alma Rugby in Brazil. In Brazil, football is of people not too hard. Is rugby getting softer?
Here's a tough one, right? Very tough.
Yes.
You got to take care, mate. You got to look after players, but not to an extreme where you're looking after players just for doctors and lawyers. You got to look after players for players.
My take on it is I'm pretty battered and bruised, so it doesn't feel like it's getting any softer. Like to make an 80-minute game, not 95 minutes.
Thank you. Gentleman there, please.
Michael Hooper, the way the game has gone, the way the tournament has gone, your first half collision with Dan Biggar, were you afraid that you might be off?
No, I knew I hit him low. I didn't hit him in the head. I found it tough to pull out. No, that's the thing with slow-mo. Slow-mo make it look like anything, right? So I think that was probably fair in the end. I would have been surprised if it went any further. Jeez, I hope not. You don't know. But yeah, look, we had to move on there. Probably, just on us, we're probably ill-disciplined in the first half. And I think Wales, some of their shots on goal there with the drop goal was a change-up that worked quite well for them. That's probably a difference in the end.
Thank you. Over on the left, please, and then we'll come to the front.
Michael Cheika, are you concerned about that you're leaving it to the 40th, 50th minute before the game, getting that game that you talk about building? You're giving away too much in those first halves?
No, I think some bits and pieces in the game sort of conspired against us early on. I'm not quite sure why we'd be collapsing the scrum when we're pushing the other team forward. And the referee penalises them and then changes the decision to us. Well, to penalise them and then the linesman tells him. And those types of things change the momentum you're building. You're at the World Cup, so it's going to be tight. Like, you're playing against all good teams, so you've got to build a game as well. And you're not always going to be in front. You got to build pressure and build, I suppose, positive outcomes and momentum, even when you're behind. Sometimes, because sometimes the scoring's not always in your control. So I'm not worried about it at all. I think when we're starting well, we've got to convert maybe some more points, and that could come at some stage in the next game. We'll get on with it from there.
Thank you. Front, please.
Michael, just with all that's been said about the tackle stuff and how it was refereed today, do you feel like this World Cup has got a serious problem on its hands? If you're one of the top coaches in the game and you're saying you don't feel like you know the laws,
Well, the first wrong thing you've said then is I'm one of the top coaches in the game. I've got my doubts about that because I don't understand anymore. Yeah, it's not, mate. they all seem spooked. Like everyone seems worried about, like they're all worried about stuff so much. I'm not sure why they're worried. Players aren't worried. But then it's affecting everything else on the field as well. Decisions on all types of crazy stuff. And then I heard that the English guy got off at the suspension thing. You know, I go, wow. So, you know, I haven't really said anything there, have I? I just made a whole bunch of... But, like, it shows, if you're not sort of confused, then, you know, maybe the lights going out at the end was a bit of a symbol.
I can't speak for the administrators, but I guess they would say they're trying to protect the players for the players' sake.
And mate, the administrators are spooking the referees. Referees are worried about making the wrong decision. And they're becoming ultra cautious about everything, and it's not inviting to the fans. Why should we be having booing out there in a game like that with those types of crowds? You know, there shouldn't be people booing. They're not booing the players either, right? So that shouldn't be happening.
Michael Cheika, how happy were you with Matt Tamua's performance in the second half, and what sort of instructions did he go out there with?
Well, Matt has done very well there, you know. He's come on in all our games, and we obviously wanted to strategise the back end of the game a bit. You know, we felt we could come home strong. And with that style of finishing team, and he just does what he did, took the ball to the line when it was on to go through the line. We had good go, because off the back of some good go forward too, which probably we didn't have as much of in the first half, but mate, he's playing some nice footy, you know. He's putting his hand up there to get selected every time.
Thank you. Time for one more question. Do you want to do the second row, please?
On some of the things you can control, how would you rate the kicking performance, tactical and for goal, particularly in the first half? Is it a concern for you?
I'm not quite sure. How many did we miss in the first half? 1 or 2?
1, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I think we only missed 1. Yeah, so... Like, yeah, he would have liked to get that for sure, but you know, it's not terrible. Out of hand, I didn't think we were too bad. Like, it was so close, that penalty kick for touch at the end. You know, it was a bit of a bummer, but no, I wouldn't have been. You know, Dane put up a bomb that he almost could have dragged the guy outside the 22 to get back. Just a bit of variation, you know. So, yeah, no, I don't think that their kicking was much of an issue today. Really?
Okay. Thank you very much. I think we have Wales waiting to come in. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Thank you.